Cody Collier, welcome. How are you, bud?
Great, Leonard Duncan. How we doing, brother?
We're doing great, man. Hey, I cannot wait to hear about the old gray. In the videos I've seen and the pictures and the people that I've got to talk to, it's nothing like I expected.
It was pretty close to what I expected, honestly. Just from being on the East Coast and knowing how Tennessee tracks are and everything. I actually thought it was a little bit on the less rocky side. It had a couple rock sections here and there, but it was not nearly as rocky as I expected it to be. A lot more like good dirt and raceable track.
Well, one of the things that I expected to see more mud, and the machine seemed cleaner than I expected them to be.
Yeah, it rained Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday coming into the race. So the dirt was soft, but it actually needed the rain or something. I don't know. The dirt on the track was beautiful, and I think by the end of the bike race, there was dust in a lot of sections. Everyone
Wow.
was complaining Friday pulling in. The fields were very, very soft. They're not packed in at all. So as soon as you bring in your 40-foot RV with your 40-foot trailer, those things sink pretty quick. So everyone just getting stuck and sinking Friday trying to get into the event. But the woods were beautiful. The trails were beautiful. As far as racing goes, the conditions were perfect Saturday.
Um, the portions of your videos that I got to see, it didn't seem that rough. On some of the sport quad stuff that I saw, God, it just looked like it was beating him to death.
It just depends, on what sections you went to and everything. Lacey stayed on kind of the lower spots and got different spots. Different spots had different videos. Lacey stayed down low on the lower portion of the track, so she get a lot of videos. And if you went out, like I said, that there weren't as many big rock gardens and everything as I was expecting, so you had to go out in the woods a little bit to find anything too gnarly.
One of the things I heard is some of the rocks were very slippery.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it wasn't too bad, honestly. I didn't struggle for traction all day or anything. During the PM race, a couple of sections could definitely dug out worse than what we had to experience, but I didn't really have any problems with grip or anything.
Well, let's get into we forgot this. I'm sorry. You always give me the youth rider information. I'm going to let you do that because I freaking forged forward and didn't let that happen.
No, we haven't even got there yet. We haven't even got there yet.
Okay. I was thinking that I was leaving those poor kids out. Um, but the turnout was really good, I'm assuming.
Best turnout for an inaugural GNCC race ever
Yeah.
across all. So yeah, no, Austin, the sport's growing. That statement itself just tells you that the sport's growing. We have one new event this year, and it's the biggest one ever, biggest new event ever. So that just tells you that the sport's growing. So good to hear from on that end.
Well, you got to give a hand to the people that are supporting it and putting on those races, the sponsors that are out there. It seems like that you guys are the dominant series in the United States right now.
Yeah, we gotta, I hate to be up on you, Leonard, but every time us East Coast boys come out there to a West Coast race, be sure to put the smackdown on you. Walker and Hunter and Junior coming out to that works last year, they got, I think they went 1, 2, 3 on the podium.
They
So,
did. They did.
so yeah, no, that's these East Coast boys got going down right now. I know Braxton's doing very well in the XC2 class, but he's out winning the works race, but he's winning XC2 here and there. But so no, it's just a place to be. Competition's at an all-time high, all across I feel like pace is stepping up everywhere. The WXC is the fastest it's ever been. The 4x4 Pro is the fastest it's ever been. The XC1 is definitely the fastest it's ever been. So I'm sure they're going to say the same thing 5-10 years from now. Racing's at an all-time high, but yeah, the competition's great. The people are great. Let's just start there. How great all the fans and spectators and the people in the sport are. And I think that's key.
What do you think it is? Do you think it's because it's a 1 day format? You can roll in on Friday, go home on Saturday night for the ATV people. The motorcycle guys can roll in on Saturday and leave on Sunday. Do you think that has something to do with it?
I'm sure it helps, when it's more of a like you guys are a two-day event. You got practice on Friday and race Saturday, right?
And Sunday.
And Sunday for the pros. Yeah, the pros are on Sunday. That is right. It's been a while since I've been out there, but no, I'm sure that has something to do with it. Having to dedicate 3 days, every other week, every week to race it is a lot. So I maybe just where it's the 1 2 hour event that might might be easier for some people to do for the weekend warrior.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that format is what makes it for everybody, because you roll in, the kids race in the morning, then you have your morning classes, and then you run your A's and pros or whatever, how they break it down, and you're done.
Yeah. Yeah, no, no, I'm sure that's a big draw to it. That doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt. And then it's great. So like you could have two different series on, an off week on a national or local race weekend series. You could race Saturday at one event. You and your boy, you and your kid could race Saturday and then go to a different event on Saturday and get two different races at two different locations in on one weekend.
Right. And a lot of people that run XC do that.
Yeah. The more dedicated ones, but yeah, no, we definitely do that.
Well, you and just about every other cross country person I've spoken to, you hear we went here on Saturday and we went here on Sunday. And I just that's dedication to the racing sport.
I mean, my dad did it all the time growing up. We'd race in Indiana on Saturday, go home Saturday night, sleep, and then leave Sunday morning and go to West Virginia or Pennsylvania to race on Sunday, and then come back home and go. He can go work on Monday. I can go to school, and we do it all over again.
It's a lot of fun. And do the bikes not get torn up as much? I know you're in the pro class, so it's totally different. But at an amateur level, are the people tearing the machines up as much, or are they being able to get longevity of life out of them, so they're not having to do as much maintenance on them? And I don't not changing oil and oil filters. I'm talking about pulling motors and going through all that stuff.
And that's a little bit riding style too. I know people that can't get through two races on a set of clutches, and then some people are a little bit more squirrely, and you might bend some tie rods or rip the down off here or there just because you're a little bit more on edge. You might not have the pace of a pro guy, but you might make more mistakes than your average rider. So it's rider to rider based on that. But absolutely, if you take care of your stuff, you go in the mindset of, hey, I don't want to have to work. I don't have the time or resources to be working on this 24/7. I love my pace and I don't want to destroy my stuff. There's a million ways you can do it.
Well, that's awesome. So let's get into the youth. How was the turnout for those guys in the morning?
Absolutely. Fantastic. Like I said, historic numbers. They were over 100 riders in that youth session. I think they were pushing 150. So awesome turnout, guys. Don't got the exact number. But
do you know who won?
Yes, I do. Mr. Stetson Owens, first one on the year. He's got two top fives and missed a round, and so he's a little had a 17th. I'm sorry, he had a 17th at one round. So he's down in points, but seems to be a top 5 rider and pulled out the win this weekend.
That's awesome. Congratulations. I mean, that's great that you have so many young people, excelling in that sport. I want to ask you this. So, because I apologize, I don't know the rule. In the class, like let's say they have the Raptor 250 class. If they came out with a 300cc machine that could run in that class, that was a production machine, do you think people would buy it?
Someone would have to prove it. I think people are kind of stuck to their ways just a touch. But I think if you got a rider that could show what that thing could do, get on the box a time or two, you definitely start turning some heads.
You think if you had a machine that had a good base and that the aftermarkets were taken care of as far as, A-arms and shocks, that this fuel injected 300, regardless where it's manufactured, people would buy it?
Yeah, yes and no. Yes and no. No, everyone loves a great platform, but like I said, I think as XC people are a little bit more creatures of habit, and we stick to what we know. Look, we still got some XC1 guys on Hondas. I mean, what are you talking about? But like I said,
why you got to talk like that? Why you got to be like that?
I gotta give Adam some crap. I gotta give Adam some crap.
You just gotta hurt me like that. I love Hondas, but I'm also very massively disappointed they don't make them anymore. But
yeah, that's just part of it. But no, definitely if you show that thing's worth, you can definitely turn some heads real quick. Like look at the Apex 250 when me and Wesley Wolf ran them. No, me and Wesley Wolf were the only two people I think on the whole East Coast that even owned one. And I think by the end of the season, we had 5 different riders in that schoolboy class that had an apex.
Well,
and next year. So if you get that rider that can show its potential, you can definitely turn some heads.
well, there's a European 300cc fuel injected machine made by KO, and small rumor is they're trying to get it in the United States.
Get you a youth rider you love. Think someone that's got potential can show what that thing can do, and you'll turn some heads. Offer a bike to someone you think can put it on the box and believe in them and show that thing off.
So we guys got to get a couple guys riding it and go from there.
That's my right. Honestly, I think that'd be the fast track too. I mean, look what all the other bike brands are doing, like with Stark and the Alta when it was around, getting just different people to show what it can do, and look at how the sales went for them.
Right.
So
right.
just
logical.
Get on the map.
It's logical. Totally logical. So how did the AM race go for you?
Yeah, one more thing about the youth race. A second row rider, Mr. Jackson Hancock, got on the overall podium from the second row. So shout out to him. Got 3rd overall from row 2.
Is that unusual for a second row rider to make their way up there?
It's tough, the front rows, they're on the same machines, but the front rows, the 12 to 15 year old age division instead of the 8 to 11. So whenever second row rider gets it done with less experience and everything, it's definitely something to clap at. Pat on the back. It was a good ride for sure.
Congratulations, good job, young man. That's quite the feat to have Cody Collier telling you that you're doing a great job. So you know what? That's one thing I love about our conversations. You do take the time to look at those young people and acknowledge their triumphs and make sure that they're getting a little bit of accolades. So thank you very much, Cody. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I try not to forget where I came from. I remember being that amateur riding, coming up and through, and getting just being and seeing it all around all my buddies. I'm around a bunch of talented riders growing up. A bunch of friends of mine that were always like, "Why is this rider not getting recognition? Look what he did." So I always try to take the time to do that. So no, thank you for the appreciating that. But no, so great ride from those young guys.
That's awesome. Good. Congratulations, young man. And to all the young people in the morning race, keep doing it, because one day you could be a Bryson Neal, a Walker Fowler, or one of the Cody Collier or somebody like that, out winning championships and being the one that's leading the way. So keep riding and keep up the good work.
Oh yeah.
So the AM race, green flag drops, and the full take off the line.
Me and Caden Wharf get off to a great start. Me and him are battling for the lead into the woods. He gets the whole shot. He leads into the woods. I'm second. I'm on him for about a mile, and there's a split line. And I gave him a little horn coming into the split line. And the next section, he pulled over and let me go, let me take the lead. So thanks, Caden. I got the lead. Made one downhill and framed out on a rock and stood up the front end and rode right into a tree. I had maybe 300 feet in the lead, and then everyone went around me. So I had to come from the back of the pack from there on the first lap, maybe a mile into the first lap. So picked my way through the pack, got up to second behind Frazier, and we just kind of put down a really good pace. I was on him. There's a tree laying across the track from the youth race or something running over some trees, and it caught my key and ripped my key out. Had to plug my key back in and take back off, because we don't have the twist lock key. We got like stab-in keys, and that's why I use my kill tether. So it comes out if you got your stick wrong every now and then. But no, me and Frazier really had a really good race. Went back and forth for the lead a couple of times, picking through the lap traffic, just having ourselves a really good day. I mean, if he didn't have his issues, me and him would have finished 6 minutes ahead of the third place 4x4 rider. I finished almost 6 minutes ahead of second place after Frazier had his issues. But we were put down a crazy pace out front. And last lap, he told me he's coming out of the corner and there's a split line. I split and he went the other way. I didn't exactly see what happened, but I just seen him spin around backwards in the track on the last lap. He caught, he said he leaned too far forward. When we went to lean back, his pant leg caught his one of his brake levers and locked up the brakes when he leaned back and spun him out, and he lost some time. And from there, he's trying to make up the time that he lost. And he said he made a couple more mistakes and had a couple more, couple get offs after that, trying to make up the time. So glad he's all right. And he ended up damaging the machine a little bit in his get off. So that's where he lost all of his time on that last lap. So me and Frazier had a great battle going out front all day. Really, really good riding, really good racing with them. Good clean riding. A couple of downhills and a couple of times lappers locked up the brakes, and I was coming into it with more pace than Frazier. And we both locked up the brakes. And I was just sliding in the back of them. So sorry about that one, buddy. No, just I stayed away from the big mistakes at the end and came out with the win. Cole Likens got a second overall again. It's got second overall on the overall podium again, got second overall this race. So that schoolboy rider got himself a taste of that overall podium and wants himself some more. So good ride, Cole. And then Braden Reed rounded out the overall podium, getting second overall in the 4x4 pro class, with Branson getting third in the 4x4 pro class. So, and then podium streak from Branson Solesbee too. That's his third podium in a row. So keep it up, brother.
Yeah, Solesbee and Reed, that's his first podium, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's a rookie. He's a rookie this year. Yeah, rookie this year and already got podium. So good riding.
Yeah,
and I just want to add, first ride as a KMK off-road rider. It's that KMK difference.
All right. So he's got to be pretty stoked.
Yes, sir.
Going with your guys' team and the way you guys do things. So that's awesome for him. Brandon Frazier, bad luck. That's horrible. You guys are seeming to swap off bad lucks.
Yeah, your turn, my turn, my turn.
And now you guys are 1 point apart.
No, sir. No, sir. We're tied. There was a scoring or points issue, and they didn't count Hayden Mickelson one of his laps. They didn't score him on the first lap or something, so he was finished 9th when points were originally scored. But they fixed him where he finished 4th. He got his 4th place finish, which pushed Frazier from 6th back to 7th, and now we're tied in points.
Okay.
So yeah,
I just had to look at that because I had it all down where everybody was, and I just noticed that right when I said it that you guys were even. So you're even in points.
They just changed it last night, so they just updated.
I don't feel near as bad.
Not my bad. No, you were prepared. You were prepared. I love it. Well,
okay. I was doing my homework and I was writing my pre-notes for the episode here that I write all the information down. And I was out looking at the results, and that's, I had read that. So I didn't think of anything of it. But when I just looked at it now, it's different. So
no, it got updated. They had a scoring issue. Something went haywire or whatever. They fixed it, and me and Frazier all tied up front.
Wow. All new season.
All new season. We're 5 races in, all tied up.
Yeah, man. WXC is starting to have quite the battle going on in WXC. The ladies are mixing it up. Elioff is still super strong, with a 30 points, looks like a 30-point lead, 32-point lead, excuse me. That's big for this area or this time in the year. But Chloe Harper
over a full race lead. It's 30 point. They run the pro point scale on that class, I believe. So over a full race lead is very important.
Right. Everybody else seems to be having something go on. Chloe Harper is starting to fight back and has won 2 in a row. I mean, she's going to have to close that 32 points. She's going to have to be almost perfect for the rest of the year.
Yeah. I mean, so they're on the pro points. You can gain 5. So if, say, Jessica stays perfect or stays very consistent and Chloe's the only one consistently there, it's only 5 points a race. So, I mean, if things kind of go how they are, it would take Chloe 5 more races, 6 more races to make up the 30 points. But you said it's 32. She would need 7 races.
Right.
Consistently winning. So
around 12.
Yep, exactly. So you gotta hope for a little bit of luck and hope you can just keep hitting your marks.
Elioff just seems to be on fire this year. She's super strong, seems to have gotten her sea legs and not taken any guff from anybody. Katelyn Osburn and Hannah Hunter are having their own little battle back there. I don't know what's going on. They keep swapping positions as well.
Yeah, they both seem to just be having some bad luck this year. Just that things aren't going their way. Still having really good rides, really good days, just not going their way. Like Hannah had the lead at the end of the first lap this past weekend, and just had some issues with lap riders and bottlenecks on that second lap, and ended up dropping back. So lost a lot second lap.
And that's a big part of it. One bad line choice or somebody may having a wreck in front of you could change your whole day.
Yeah, absolutely. So like that's one of the hard parts of leading early in a tough race like that, is making those calls, being the first one to send lines. So if you're leading and making those choices, you better be confident in them. And sometimes you just misjudge something. So
well, yeah, and if somebody crashes and you've taken a line, and I mean that's just bad luck.
Yeah, there's wrong place, wrong time. That there's so many variables to cross country race, and that's what makes it so exciting. So many things that can go right and wrong.
Well, that key thing for you could have changed your whole day.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't tethered off, or if it got caught hard enough that it ripped off of my pants as well, and the tree slingshot it 30 feet in the woods, absolutely, I've had it happen.
You carry an alternate key just in case?
No, they are programmed. So no, we're building what would you like, a skid plate for it to protect it. So we're building a skid plate. What Rick Checo is Checo Racing's helping us with that.
So you're getting a cover for it so that you don't have any issues with that.
Yes, sir. Not something that's going to hold it in, because it is my kill tether, right? But just enough to where if something hits it from the front, it's not going to hook it and scoop it like it has been.
Yeah, but that's still got to be pretty fluke.
Well, so we moved the key location to on top, like on front of my handlebars. So every once in a while, you get a tree that comes in from the side and gets caught up underneath your handlebars, and it'll catch that key in the process. Where we had it used to come like where your front left tire is, like where the plastics are here. It used to come in from the main harness and come like just hanging out underneath the plastics. And we've had trees and stuff come in and rip out the wiring. So we had to move it. We moved it up top. I love the spot. Just every once in a while, we'll catch a tree. We just need to make a little skid plate for it. So Checo Racing coming to a racetrack near you soon.
Nice. All the new things that you have to invent that you didn't need at one time, but now you do because you're having a fluke happen and you never want to have it happen again. And if you don't do it, it will happen again right away.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So we just don't want to, we want to learn from our mistakes, learn our lessons the first time, and not repeat,
Right.
Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Yeah. I was going to ask, after your little escapade a couple rounds ago, and you had some issues with the electrical or the rear of your machine, did all of that get worked out?
So that's what caused me issues at Coker.
Right.
We talked about that. I believe we had that all sorted out by then. So
you didn't have any problems? You didn't have any problems at this round.
So I did at pit. So I was taking pit, right? They unscrew my gas cap. We don't have a quick fill. We have an old school quick fill. We were still using the gas cap. Took my cap off, filling me. They're done filling me. They're starting to tighten my gas cap, and a spectator starts yelling, "Go!" I take off before my gas cap is fully tightened. I make it about halfway through that third lap. My gas cap comes off, and I start getting fuel dumping down the right side of my body. Every bump, everything I'm hitting is just tossing tidal waves of gasoline down the right side of my body, because that gas can was full. Over 5-gallon capacity gas tank was full.
How much do you think you lost?
I'd say 3 gallons down the right side of my quad and myself.
You had to pit. Did you have to pit a second time?
Yes, I did.
Did you find, is the gas cap attached?
Nope. I had to. A friend of ours broke down. Robbie Pecorori, shout out Robbie. He had issues early, and we were able to borrow his gas cap.
Was he close to you when you
so
ride that whole lap?
So the gas cap came off halfway through the lap. I am worried about one, my quad not catching on fire and sitting too hard into the gas. I'm worried about mud from the race around me, not getting too much mud into my gas tank and sucking mud into my fuel system and cutting it out and killing my quad. And then I'm worried about trying to save some gas so I can not run out of gas by the end of the race. So I find around it was about a 10-mile track almost, a little bit shorter track with how technical and slow paced it was. But around the 7-mile marker, I seen Brad Whitehead, a friend of mine, stopped and be like, "Hey, I come here," and I made him come down. Like, I need a gas cap. Like I knew he knew what to do from there. He's real close to my mom, my pit, and everything, so I knew he would take care of me from there. So stopped and told Brad, a buddy of mine, and he got down there and took care of it.
Wow.
So
Well, you had quite an eventful event as well.
During the middle of the race. Yeah. So I had this going on in the middle of the race, and about, a mile to go on that last lap, going into that last lap, I started to get some pretty bad chemical burn irritation.
Oh, I bet.
So just gritted my teeth and smiled through it and got a gas cap and just tried to finish the race out and take a shower as soon as I could.
Wow. That was quite an exciting morning event for you guys, That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, the battle for podium in 4x4 pro class was really intense. Me and Frazier had a really good race going out front. The WXC was exciting. Hannah led early, had her issues. And then it looked like Jessica got the lead from there. And I was talking to one of her pit, and she was leading in that last lap and had a lapper cause her to make a bobble, which allowed Chloe to get around. I don't know exactly how it happened, but I was told a lap rider cost Jessica the win.
Okay.
So Jessica was out front late in the last lap and had an issue with the lap rider, costing her the win. Because they finished, I think, 5 seconds apart.
Right. So. That's bad and good all at the same time. I mean, like we were just talking, there's so many different things can happen out there for you guys and gals to change your day. That brief moment changed the win for Jessica and gave it to Chloe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. There's so many variables, so many things go right and wrong. Is that, something she needs to learn from, take that split line, give that lapper more room next time, zig when he should have zagged, there's probably something to be learned there. And there's also probably just a little bit of stupid luck going on.
Right on, right on. And as we roll into the afternoon race and the XC2 class, your podium pick this race was spot on, dude.
2 for 2.
Gelato came in third. I rode a hell of a ride, I'm assuming. And
race.
Pardon?
Excellent race from him. Him in second place battled about the last 2 laps, the entire last 2 laps I've seen.
Grayson.
Mr. Eller, absolutely.
Yep, Mr. Consistent. He's always running up there in the top 4. He's been on the podium 3 times this year, and he's only a few points out of the lead. Alex, on the other hand, same, has been in the top 4 the whole race, top 5, and he's got his second win of the year. And, he's got a short points lead over Eller. And Gelato has actually moved up from 5th or 6th in points to 3rd or 4th, and he's doing really well. Braxton Gross didn't really like the old gray that much.
More of a technical track, not sand whoops. This is to get into some more of the good dirt, the northern style of northeastern part of the country XC. We got the sand whoops, which is, fits his riding style very well for being out on the West Coast. We're starting to get some more technical, some rocks, some roots, some gnarlier stuff. And, it's going to be a learning curve for him. But no, he's an excellent rider. Look for him to make those adjustments.
Just like we had just talked earlier about little things that happen. And he said the moment the race started, he had a bad start. And then every time he made ground, something happened and he lost ground.
That's part of the problems of.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Whether it would be line choice or somebody crashing in front of him or himself falling off, he just could not put it together. He said on lap 3 and 4, he finally started to relax and just ride. And, but he said it was massive learning.
Yep. Yep. You can't force situations too much, especially being the back of that XC2 class. There's a lot of young, hungry, and sometimes kids make mistakes in front of you. You get caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. I did my time in the XC2 class, and I was never a great starter on the 450. So I've also dealt with the mayhem that is the back markers of that XC2 class. So I feel you just gotta be smart and patient when you get a bad start. And something he's another thing about cross country he's going to have to learn about getting through the back of that pack. But no, sorry you had a bad ride. You just learn what you can from it and move forward.
I want to ask you this question. When they line up the XC2, do they line every one of them up across the board for however many of them there are? Or what's the max amount of guys that they can put on one row?
There's no limit that I'm aware of riders per class.
So there was 19 guys on that line. So there was 19 across for the start.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Wow.
Yeah, XC2 class is normally 15 plus riders, give and take. Normally 15 plus. Every once in a while, you get a little bit lower, but I believe they do the top 15 points get to go after the 10 a.m. start. It's actually a really cool thing about the XC2 class. So once you get to XC2 class, you get to pick your gate position based on points, just like your WXC and your XC1, your 4x4 Pro class. You get to, instead of rolling to the line and picking your gate spot according to points, what they do for the XC2 class is the 10 a.m. race does all of their starts. Once the start is cleared, all the XC2 riders are to be there with a something to mark their gate selection. So someone will go down the entire second row with some spray paint and mark out quad width lines, and you go and you pick your gate starting at first. So Alex Diamond, first gate pick, he walks, finds a quad width spot he likes, and you go your stake, and then Eller and Glauda and so on and so forth.
Right.
So it's same thing as picking your gate picks, but you don't get the pro introduction since they're not a pro class. I guess they don't allow them to have that, but since they're a premier amateur class, they do allow them to do the stakes still.
Do they pay the pro-am guys?
I believe there's contingency. Nothing crazy though.
Yeah, but it's pro-am classes are supposed to get a payment.
I'm pretty sure it's been a long time, and it's been a long time since I've raced the XC2 class. I just don't remember or not if they got a little kickback or not.
Do you know who led into the first turn?
Kenny Schick, or a second turn, I guess, right? Whole shot, second corner in XC. Kenny Schick got the whole shot this round.
Okay.
So he does get the whole shot bonus. XC2 does get the whole shot bonus. So DNR Motorsports, thanks to them guys. Right. They do also they do whole shot bonus for about every class. I think the XC1 class gets different sponsors here and there, but I think they do it for the other three classes, other three premier classes.
Nice. That's awesome that they do that.
Yeah, they're right now they're celebrating 15 years in business, DNR Motorsports, and they said that we'll keep an eye on your mailboxes because they'll be sending out random gift cards and flyers and bonus stuff. So they're very much about giving back to the community, and they support the sport for sure.
Well, yeah, I hear a lot of good things about them.
Yep, great guys, for sure.
So your pick for the pro podium in the pro class was pretty close.
Real close. Yeah.
We both picked Neal and Fowler. I, changed the order up a little, but Merritt is making his claim for that number 3 spot, being Mr. Consistent. And Wilkin, I believe, is a rookie, isn't he?
Year two from
year 2. He is doing really well as well. Do really strong finishes and riding hard. Walker was closer to Neal this round, put on a better show, didn't let him stretch it out too far. did close up the gap on lap 3, but it seemed to open back up on the final lap. I know that Fowler was third or fourth into the woods.
Yeah, something like that. I think he was second. Third or fourth. You're right. Borch got a better start than him. Borch was second in the woods.
Merritt was in front of him when they came through the scoring chute on after lap 1. It was Neal, Merritt, Fowler, and I don't remember who was in fourth. But I text you as soon as I seen the results, and I watched the video of Bryson. That is one strong individual.
Bryson?
Yep.
Yeah, no. He's believes in the working out and the training like crazy. And back when we hung out, we went to the gym very, very often. So he's very much about his training, very committed for sure.
The one section I watched, it was tight woods, technical woods racing, because there were trees and rocks and the grooves were there, the deep ruts. And it's like he just physically put that machine where he wanted it with no issue.
Yeah, manhandling that thing.
Yeah, I was impressed. I like watching all of those guys. I think they're all fantastic, but since before he broke his leg, I was thinking that he was super strong then. But when he came off the couch with very little training, recovering from that leg, and won, I've been impressed with that guy ever since.
Yeah. He's two-time now. He's going for the 3-peat just like myself. He's got the right training program behind him. I think he's figured out all the pieces to the puzzle. It's going to take a lot to take him off the top.
I asked somebody that has built some championship machines, not an XC, but built some championship machines in the industry and knows Bryson. And I asked him, when do you think that he will, or how far do you think he can go? And he goes, it could be 8, 9, 10 years before they beat that kid.
He's put a lot of pieces to the puzzle together. He's doing all the right things. Walker's got to get back to where he was. I don't think Walker's back to where he was. And I think it will be really close to where him and Bryson were battling. But Bryson's done a lot of work since then and is progressing at the same time. He's not what he was when they were battling for the wins. He's an even better rider now. So that's something to keep in mind as well.
Yeah, and Walker is a 7-time champ. And for a champion, after a 2 or 3 year hiatus from it, it's very difficult for them to be able to reach down in that bag and come out with the same desire to put in the work. And I'm not telling you that Walker Fowler's not working hard. I hear through the grapevine that he is freaking, that's all he's doing is working hard. And you can tell by his finishes and his rides, he's putting in the work. But maybe it's just Bryson Neal's time.
Right now it is. And Walker's growing, Josh is growing, and all these guys are learning and growing. So Bryson had Walker to queue up when he was growing and got there, and Walker had his unfortunate incident, and Walker's building to get back there. So Bryson's just holding it down at the top where Walker used to be, and they're all learning and growing. It's very exciting. You got Wilkin at year 2. He's putting on really good runs, running through the pack, and all getting borderline podium rides here and there. It's all of it's so exciting. I could talk about every rider, all the good things that they're doing, the progress that they're making. I could see any of these guys being podium guys.
One question I have is, Hunter Hart for the last couple of years has been in the mix for the podium, and he's got 1 podium so far this year.
I think there's a lot of expectations this year. He came into the year right before, had a good round 1 before Florida. He had him and Junior got into it. Big Buck. That wasn't his. I'm sure neither of their favorite rounds from this year. And then before the Florida GNCC, Hunter got into a practice accident, got a gnarly bruise on his leg. I think it was all the way down to the bone of that bruise, and split his leg open a little bit too. So recovering from that, a lot of expectations this year. He's putting in the work. I know he is. So just things starting to line up for Hunter this year. He's got it. He's got it in the bag. We know it. It's just putting all the pieces together. And it's hard when other people like Josh Merritt are stepping up and putting the pieces together. Mr. Wilkins stepping up and putting the pieces together here on year 2. So everyone's learning and growing. You got to be ahead of that curve to stay where you're at. You can't just stay where you can't not progress and expect to stay where you're at because everyone else is progressing.
Yes, this class is tough. I mean, if I was a XC2 guy, I don't know if I would be looking to jump into that next year because there are some stout riders. I mean, you look back, Abney, his program's getting better and better all the time. John Galata Jr. That's the one guy that I think I expected more from him. I expected him to be fighting for one of those podium spots.
He broke his wrist last year at Fast Tracks, Mr. John Lauda. And he had it healed up and he was good to go coming in the year. But with him and Hunter Hart, their get-togethers at round 1, it caused his wrist to bum out. So he wasn't right at Florida with his wrists, and then I'm sure he wasn't right at Georgia with his wrists. So it's a little bit of battling back from that. And then, like I said, everyone's growing, everyone's doing so well. When you have something set you backwards, you not only have to get back to where you were, you got to get to where they've gone in that time.
Right. Well, that's good to know. I knew that he had got a small ding, but I didn't realize that it affected him more than one round. And if it affects you more than one round, it's not just one of those 2 rounds. It's going to affect you for 4 or 5 because you have to catch back up to where you were.
Yep, and you're not allowing it to properly heal, so it's dragging it. It's going to be more of a nagging injury than like a nuisance and like a problem, but like it's still going to be there for a couple of races. So there's all of it, man, all the little pieces.
Right on. So where are we going next?
Next, we'll be going to Ironman 1.0. They call it the Hoosier GNCC out in Indiana.
And this is always a fun round. And no matter whether it's the Ironman or the Hoosier, it's always a huge event, correct?
Massive turnout. Everyone's always super excited at Ironman to send the year off with a bang, and the big parties. They got the concerts and the big pink out at Ironman. But no, the Hoosier crowd's just as rowdy. There may not be as many people, but it's a really good crowd, really good people, really good racing.
That's excellent. I can't wait to see how things break down there. We'll get to do our pre-race for that, and we'll have some podium predictions in that pre-race, and we'll see how we do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just with this race, I just wanted a couple notes on the pro race this weekend before we get off here. Hunter Hart and Adam McGill got together off the start. I think that's kind of Adam McGill wasn't able to bounce back from that, and he kind of just lingered in the back of the pack all day. Don't know if that messed with his machine or what, but that part of Adam's bad day. He got into a tangle up on the start. Hunter was able to get away from it quick and put a couple great lines together on the first lap and was made his way to the front of the pack. And Wilkin came from the back of the pack all day to get that 4th place spot. Like you said, Merritt and Walker got great starts and just trying their best to keep Bryce Neal honest. Bryson bent his rotor, folded his rear rotor halfway through the 3rd lap. So he rode a lap and a half with no rear brakes. So I think that's a little bit of the time being made up. I think is definitely part of when you lose your rear brakes in an XC race, it makes it very tough. So I think that's a little bit where his lead got chipped into. And then he made the adjustment riding with no rear brakes. I think that's how he stabilized on the last lap.
Right. I didn't know that. Well, that's no.
No. There's a lot of little things that go on. You look at the results, you see that's why we do these reports. So I can try to get all these little tidbits of information if I can.
Do you know if it was just a fluke failure hitting a rock?
Smoked a rock. Misjudged something, smoked a rock, folded his rotor, lost his rear brakes.
Wow.
So rider error thing for sure. A rock could have rolled out in the middle of the trail. I didn't hear exactly how it happened, but it's a rock. Probably just misjudged something.
Right on. Right on. That's great. Thanks for that input. I appreciate it. Cody Collier, as always, brother, thank you so much for your time and consideration to all the other people that are racing, and keep doing what you're doing, and we appreciate it.